All right, it's time for the daily briefing here on Monday, June 29th, as we enter the 17th week of the response. I think 17th week. Mayor Koplin is with us. These briefings are heard in the 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hours on the Clam and the Eagle, archived to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Cordova TV. So let's get the week started and see what the mayor has to share with us. Mayor Koplin, we start ourselves a new week here, and I guess, in a way, sort of dealing with some frequently asked questions of late, having to do with some confusion over a couple of things, apparently. First off, the doctors are telling us they're seeing, I guess, what we'd call some confusion on the part of the public on the nature of the test process and how fast it goes, and what is it that they want us to know, that the team wants us to know? Exactly.
So Dr. Sanders and the medical team has been saying several times that the turnaround time requires a little bit of patience, but she had a little bit broader message that she asked to share. Maybe I'll just run through it here this morning.
Okay.
So she said that they're doing a lot of COVID testing. That's the great news. But they do need the public's help getting clear information out to the community. I guess that's our part. When someone calls or asks about the testing on the street. So just to clarify again, the community testing on Mondays and Wednesdays is 1 to 3 p.m. at the Alanka, downstairs across from the Episcopal Church. You can pre-register at 424-3622. And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, it's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Cordova Community Medical Center, Ambulance Bay. The airport testing, Thursdays through Mondays at each flight interval, each flight arrival, and that testing is for travelers. Community members are requested to utilize the community COVID testing times listed above and not go to the airport for testing. So that's one thing. If you're a Cordova resident and you can kind of time your testing for the regular setups at the CCMC and Alanka clinics, that is much preferred. It takes the pressure off the field testing, which takes time and so forth, and really detracts from the ability to test incoming visitors. This will get more and more important as we progress through the summer. So here's another important piece, and I think what can really help our medical team right now, and that's that the test results are called out to the patients within 24 hours whenever possible. If you need hard copies for state travel plans, those can be emailed or available the business day following your test results phone call. So if you've not received your test after 24 hours, then you can call 424-8000 to check on your results. We're really lucky to have access to the free testing and such relatively quick resulting times. But when people are asking, and they have been doing this, calling and asking for results before that 24-hour window, every person that's waiting for a screening test schedule outside of those testing times slows down our testing process. And they're doing large numbers of tests for the canneries and so forth. So they're very busy in the lab.
Okay, so and what it kind of sounds like is we need, people obviously have a test, and I've had, as a diabetic, I've had blood tests, and I really want to know those results, but calling a bunch about them is not only not going to make your test progress faster, but is going to slow the process down for everybody else. Is that the meat of it?
Absolutely, and we are doing a very, very high volume of tests again. It's our medical team has just been so proactive. It takes a tremendous amount of time and resources for them to set up these testing facilities and process the people on those, several minute, 15 or 20 minute or whatever increments. And so being barraged with calls and stuff in the meantime is moves them backwards. So really appreciate our help in that regard.
Okay, and that's a request that comes straight from the doctors. So, not something that anybody is saying on their behalf.
No.
Okay. So another question seems to revolve around some confusion regarding how the state reports positive cases, because obviously anytime you hear the word Cordova in relation to new cases that makes your antenna go up. But some people are taking this misunderstanding apparently a little too far, and it's jacking up the rumor mill. So talk a little bit about this reporting of the Valdez-Cordova census area and what that actually means.
Well, that's a good point. And in fact, it may mean something different than I originally thought it did. We don't have a borough, so we're organized into a census tract. And Cordova and Valdez are included in that, but so is Whittier. And so when you see the reports on the state website, I've had actually during the whole course of this pandemic, I've been getting calls here and there, and I imagine others have too, about, hey, we saw 2 new cases over the weekend. Who is it? And in fact, I've talked to Valdez mayor and the Whittier city manager. We played phone tag over a weekend once, me thinking that there were new cases in Valdez, Mayor Valdez thinking there were new cases in Cordova, and it turned out it was Whittier cases. So what we have right now, and again, that's the great resource you provide, is that Cordova has only had a total of 4 cases throughout the summer, all seafood related, all outside of Cordova derived. And 2 of those have recovered, and 2 are currently in isolated quarantine. So that's all we've had is 4 cases. That 18 case total is the 4 in Cordova. I think there's been 3 or 4 in Valdez. All the rest are from that unfortunate bubble in Whittier.
Yeah.
So just sort of,
No, that's a good point. And I'm actually, while you were talking, I pulled up the page. And any time that a case is reported as being the Cordova-Valdez census area, that also includes Whittier, as you said. It includes Chenega, Shoshana, Chittana, Copper Center, Gacona, Glen Allen, Kenny Lake, McCarthy, Nebezna, Paxson, Tititlic, and a bunch of others. I'm just trying to focus in on some of the ones that we know. All of those communities are in that census area. So any case reported as Valdez-Cordova census area could be in any of those towns. That's a good clarity to put out there, so we don't have people. I mean, are you guys running into the same old, you've got cases and you're not telling us to make Cordova look better thing, or has that largely been squashed?
I haven't heard it framed exactly that way, but I have got calls outside of the community kind of suggesting that, hey, you're saying, you're advertising that you only have 2 cases or whatever, but the state's records are showing that you have a lot more. Yeah. I did get a couple of cases like that where I had to straighten them out a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks for that clarification. Actually, I wasn't aware that the census tract was actually that broad, even included Glen Allen and others.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because of their proximity to Valdez, I would imagine. Okay, so and then another issue that has come up is it goes back to the issue of the masks and are they good, are they bad? Obviously, this is a debate that for some reason has become a political debate. Who you think should or shouldn't be president influences whether or not you're going to wear a mask, and we don't need to have that conversation. But what is the status of masking in Cordova and the thoughts of the doctor? I mean, just speak to what we're facing here regarding this.
Well, I have a lot of friends in the medical community, and of course we have, as a city, we have a direct relationship with our local chief of the medical team, Dr. Sanders, and we said early on at city council level and city manager level, this is a medically driven emergency. We recognize that, so we're going to defer to our medical advisors. And while the story has changed through the course of the pandemic, as we've learned more about the character of the virus, it's generated some frustration. First, we're told by CDC that masks shouldn't be worn, and there's good reasons for that. Then they say they should be worn. Then the World Health Organization, it doesn't decide until 2 weeks ago that yes, now they're recommending that they should be worn. Our state medical staff, Dr. Zink and Dr. Sanders, the jury was out with them for a while too, I think. But now they've seen enough evidence firsthand in managing the virus in Alaska and by our neighbors, and the information that the CDC has learned along the way, that they're all pretty aligned in their message that masks do help prevent not only to spread the infection, but it helps keep from getting the virus. So, that's our best advice. I take my car to a mechanic when it's broken, and this is much the same. It's a medical issue, so our professionals are telling us we should wear masks. So that's what the city's implemented to the lightest possible degree. When you're indoors, when you're outdoors, but you can't maintain a social distance, yes, it's an inconvenience. We've made clear that we're not going to lean over people's shoulders. We're going to ask them to do this. We do have a mandate in place, but that's primarily for someone who's knowingly and intentionally trying to, spread the virus, etc. So I think we've struck a good balance of recognizing that we're flirting with the Constitution and personal rights, and that, there are impacts on personal freedoms and businesses. However, we're not telling people what to do in their homes or in their realm of control. And we're only keeping these in place, frankly, as you and I have discussed before, so that we aren't forced with decisions about more stringent requirements if we have a big outbreak and really need to take some stronger measures to protect public health.
Yeah, well, I know that's part of what they talked about in Anchorage when they were implementing their mask rule. They came to the conclusion, I think, I don't know if it was the mayor himself or if this has gone before their council or their assembly or whatever they have, but, they thought that having a mask rule struck a happy medium between, well, not happy, but struck a medium between just letting the virus run rampant on the one extreme, and on the other extreme having to just shut everything back down again. And you've said that a number of times, that if we are careful when we're in public spaces and going to our local businesses, if we use the masks, that's the best way to make sure that they can stay open and not we don't have to retreat to one of these yellow or even worse, one of these red phases that still exists, that we can still be in this open and more active phase. But the transferring of the responsibility as much as possible from the governments to the individuals. And so judging from what you say, you sound like that's and what the doctors say, all of you on the team continue to find that to be the good medium position, the middle position. Exactly.
It's just like the seatbelt rule, except that all these conversations played out, and now we just take it as a matter of, daily habit that we put our seatbelt on when we get in the car. It's a law. It's there to protect lives. Societies recognize that wearing seatbelts and helmets saves lives, and we ultimately made a rule out of it. I don't see masks being any different.
Yeah.
So,
well,
maybe we've said enough.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in or joining us, rather. Anything final as we come to a close?
No, we have a beautiful sunny week ahead of us, so I lean to the doctor's advice: get out, get some fresh air, enjoy the beautiful countryside, and continue to be safe.
All right, that'll wrap up our June 29th daily briefing, a Monday here, and a reminder for the most up-to-date information anytime you want it, literally anytime you want it. That website, COVID19.cityofcordova.net, is a great asset. They also have the 424 info number where you can interact with somebody with your questions and your comments regarding coronavirus information in Cordova. And then the 424-WELL number, 424-WELL, a service provided by the Village of Eac that has the latest recorded information. Remember, you can hear the briefings weekdays here on the radio, 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hours, archived on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cordova TV. We'll get regular programming back on for you now, and we'll see you next time for the daily briefings on the Clam and the Eagle.